You need some kind of like...
All right, here we go. Next matchup. We got LA Infamous, and they are taking on San Antonio X Factor. I'm Matty Marshall. Definitely pleased to have Justin Rabikoff up here with me from Boston Red Legion, one of the best players in the game currently. Break this game down for me, Justin.
Well, like we were saying before, Infamous is their own worst enemy. They're a great team. They have a lot of talent on that team, a lot of young guys and a lot of vets at the same time. So they're a great team, a solid team, but they are their own worst enemy. But at the same time, X Factor has brought a lot of their old guys. They got Devin, they got, you know, Grayson back, they got Archie back from Dynasty.
Or Todd Morrow.
Yep. They got everybody back.
Let's watch the breakout here. So on your screen, you're watching X Factor screaming out to the snake side, trying to wrap around. Ooh, narrowly dodges a ball.
And Infamous loses their snake eye on the break.
So Infamous doubling up that back center. Oh, and Infamous also loses their back corner on the snake side. So there's no one left alive. And for Travis Lemansky, losing pods, trying to get out.
He does make it out, but it is a 5-on-2 right now.
And Grayson Goff up to the center A at the 50-yard line, trying to wrap around. And it looks like curtains for Infamous here in this first point. Here comes X Factor getting on the board immediately. Johnson grabbing that flag and running in. That was a quick point.
With a quick point, yeah, very quick point.
We haven't seen, now Justin, we haven't seen a lot of quick points, and you know, you play for the Russians. I mean, you guys are really good at quick points. Why do you think we haven't really seen a lot of quick points on this field?
I think mostly is because the field is widened a little bit, but people are just going out to these back spots and they're not really trying to move too much. A lot of people are sitting back and they're kind of adjusting to the field, you know, length, and they're kind of playing more 7-man game. And they're kind of sitting back in the back. That's why we've seen these drawn out games, these drawn out points, and you haven't seen too many quick points.
And also a lot of teams not shooting guys off the break. And you're going to see quick points when people get shot off the break. Now, for that first point, X Factor was able to shoot Zach Wake off the break. Then they quickly shot another player, it might have been Bobby Villas, out of the back corner. And then after that, they seized the advantage and were able to make moves. And I think that is what those are the quick fit or the quick adjustments they're going to watch as these teams learn this field. Once you get that kill, you got to take advantage of that kill.
You have to capitalize.
And it is cool to see X Factor, as you were saying before. I mean, they do have the boys back together. They're putting the band back together. And X Factor, they started out as all Texas team, and they really developed a brash, in-your-face style of play, heavy on gunfighting, heavy on aggression, and then they got picked apart. A lot of players went to other teams, and they've really been able to kind of put that squad back together. And I'm really interested to see how they're going to gel this year.
And I think it might take them a little bit, but it looks like they're getting right back into the flow, right back into old X Factor days and how they were playing before. And they're a great team. They have a lot of talent on that team, and it's good to see them all back together. It's good to see them, finally out here playing as a squad again. Like you said, the band's back together.
It is good, and they're all really fun, great guys too. So it's cool to see them be, just happy about playing paintball again together.
Yeah, and having fun together. That's what it's all about.
All right, let's see the breakout. Heavy guns for Infamous. 5 guns up initially and then streaking out wide to see if they make it, and it looks like they do. X Factor losing Mikhail Kovar.
And losing 2 on the break. And another quick guy out of the back center. So it is a 5-on-2 game.
And all of a sudden we're seeing guys die off the break.
Yep.
This time for X Factor, they lose 3 players essentially off the break.
And Bobby jumps in this snake. See, and Bobby goes straight down. He's looking for the move. He's asking his coach. He should just go. There's nobody shooting at him. He needs to just go.
He's worried about that lane.
It's like he doesn't know what's left. Because they shot those quick guys on the break. They shot a lot. They shot 3 guys really quick, and I just don't think Bobby knows what's going on.
On one hand, I appreciate his caution, knowing he's up a lot of bodies and not wanting to do something stupid. But on the other hand, if nobody's shooting at you and there's no one in the back corner, just get low and go around that corner. If you're low enough, you're not going to get shot.
Well, from here, it sounds like the crowd's really loud. They're really screaming at Bobby, trying to either talk to him. There's a lot of people screaming at him, and he's just trying to find his coach.
Yeah, and when you get a guy like Bobby, from the HK crew, you're going to get a lot of people screaming at you on the sidelines. He's a popular player. A lot of people know who Bobby is, and he's got a lot of friends over here. But that can kind of lend to some chaos. You'd almost hear people being like, "Shut up! One person talk," And here we go. Now Infamous swinging it back.
My boy Kevin Rudolph out there playing some good paintball. I love seeing.
Infamous has a really talented squad.
They do. They really
very
do.
talented squad. I mean, you're real familiar with a lot of those guys. I mean, Callie is your boy from back in the day.
Yeah, we
and
grew up together.
You've played with almost all these guys at one particular point in time. I mean, I'm trying to think. Is there anyone on Infamous you haven't played with?
Just Zach Wake and Bobby Avilas. And Marcelo. Well, I played with Marcelo in Australia, but nothing out in America.
And you and Zach Wake are like really good friends off the field, right?
We actually had, a little. We had. It's funny you say that. No, we had a little bit of beef, but we squashed that.
Oh, you did?
We're boys now.
Okay, that's cool.
It's funny.
Sorry,
that
I had to lobby that softball.
Yeah.
See what you're gonna say.
No, but yeah, that beef is squashed because I am great friends with a lot of the Infamous guys. That was my first pro team playing with those guys. So I grew up with them. They pretty much taught me how to play paintball.
Yeah, because at the time when you were kind of really cutting your teeth on the pro level, guys like Rusty, guys like John, those were the guys that really kind of taught you the swagger.
Yeah, it was Rusty and John when they lived in Virginia and worked at PEVs. Those were the guys that taught me and Kevin how to play paintball, taught DC Devastation how to play paintball. And so I have to give a lot of credit to those two, definitely.
All right, so 30 seconds left to go here. It's all tied up at 1 apiece. And we were expecting to see I'm expecting to see a great game here. It's going to be interesting. Can Infamous stay out of the box? They just have a really hard time not getting penalties. So,
yeah, and that's what it's going to come down to.
Everyone knows that. The refs know that.
Yep.
And that's another tough thing is that when you get known for penalties, you get more scrutinized.
Exactly.
Which then leads to further penalties. So they need to go the complete opposite direction and try to play as clean as they possibly can. All right, so on the breakout here, looks like X Factor able to get all 5 bodies out alive, and they got a pretty aggressive breakout up the field. Grayson they love to send Grayson up the center.
And he's playing great up there. He really is.
He's doing some work up there for sure. And John Richardson also mirroring his move. He's up the center. And we're going to see that more. I think that the teams are going to start to learn okay, I can make it to the spot of the break, or I can run and gun here. And we're going to start to see a little bit more diversification of the game plans. They lose. It looks like Infamous losing Marcelo, Margot.
But X Factor also dropping 2.
And now John Richardson going to go up to the A, which means as soon as Grayson hears that he's there, no, he's going to continue to run through. Here comes Johnny Richardson.
Big move.
Wow, John Richardson just runs.
And it pays off. Shoots 3 guys, all in the back.
Woo. Come through, run through. John Richardson gets a little 3-pack up the center.
Perfect timing by John Richardson, and then that's what he's known for his timing. He's a great player, and it's good to still see him out there playing and running through on teams like X Factor.
Rumor on the rumor on the street is that this could potentially be his last year. So.
Oh wow. So it's nice to see players like John Richardson still out there playing and still making those moves. They can still, especially these vets, can still come out here and play paintball.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you look at it, I mean, honestly, there's been some players that have broke through, and a few teams here or there. X Factor's a very good success story. But if you look at it, I mean, honestly, it's almost like the guys at the top, they stay there until they want to retire.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of goes to show you that the skill of paintball is a really hard skill to learn to be at the top of the game.
Yeah, you rarely see new teams come in, except for this Chattanooga, CEP team. You rarely see new teams come in the league, especially you see like players here and there coming up, but you don't see full teams. And whenever these full teams come up, they usually tend not to do so well. But
you're right, and we got a replay. Let's check it out. Well, maybe we'll get that in the next point, but yeah, you're right, man. That's why I've always liked X Factor though, because X Factor was one of those success stories.
Yeah.
They came up, they had their own style of paintball, they lived it, they loved it, and they were really
and they won events as well.
Yeah, they won events, and they really made a statement. So it's great to see them, because for a while I was really, when they were starting to lose their like fixtures, you know, and then Dixon retired, Archie went to Dynasty, the Odell brothers. Dusty didn't play for a while and was playing overseas. It was looking like they were kind of losing that fire.
Yeah.
Alex Martinez, he's the oldest guy out here, and he's still able to compete, which is awesome. But now it's really kind of cool to see them got their core back. They're remotivated, and I'm excited to see what sort of game they're going to bring this year. And so far, it's been pretty interesting.
Here we go.
All right, let's see the breakout here. 5 guns up for Infamous as they break out wide, getting player into the 30-yard line, insert Dorito.
And 5 guys for X Factor as well. Colt makes the snake Dorito, and he makes it clean. And it's still a 5-on-5 game here. And it looks like Bobby gets pulled out of the back center. He's lucky he didn't get a penalty there.
Yeah, Bobby.
Because he was hitting his gun.
Yeah. And Nicky Cuba filling out on that back corner on the Dorito side of the field.
And Colt Roberts
able to fill the snake.
See, and nobody's shooting at him. There's not even paint hitting his bunker. These players just need to make these moves and get these shots.
Yeah, and you see Colt Roberts right there. He's zoned up on that one particular lane when no one is really shooting at him. And
there he goes. Finally makes the move. There he goes. Now that's what I want to see right there. He should be wrapping around on these guys.
Now Colt's wrapping around, trying to get a shot on Justin Schwartz's back. Justin's not in a good position right now. He's getting pinched out from the Dorito side corner. And now he's going to try to head check. Oh, looks like Colt got shot cross field by Nicky Cuba. Nice shot by Nicky Cuba all the way cross field to take out Colt Roberts.
And it seems like there was a lot of chaos on the sidelines. Roberts had no idea who to shoot at or what to even do. He got into their snake, and he could have won them that game single-handedly, but instead, he gets pinked out from across the field.
And that's another situation where you get in that spot. I mean, look at it. He had 1, 2, potentially 3 guns tied up on him.
Yeah.
And that's where get your head checks in and make sure you're doing your job, but let the rest of the team catch up.
But at the same time, if you're in their snake, you need to know your shots.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to rely on your coach 100% because you need to know that there's going to be chaos on the sideline. You're not going to always hear your coach. You need to know your shots.
Yes.
If you go out here blind, then, there's no reason for you to even be going out on the field at all. He should have known that when he got in there, he could have wrapped and shot Nicky instead of Nicky, shooting him.
And he did a great job to get into that spot, but you got to do 100% of the work if you want the success.
And it looks like Todd makes it out to the corner clean. Oh, and Justin Schwartz gets shot. I don't even know where it came from, but we have it's a 2-on-3, and Infamous takes a 50 Dorito.
And I'm seeing a lot more guys, and we've been talking about this all day, but I'm seeing just a lot of guys die from no reason, and this happens.
Yeah, it does happen, but at the same time, it's also uncalled for. You shouldn't be getting shot out of your bunker continuously.
Yes.
Oh, and Kevin Rudolph gets shot out of the corner, and it is now a 2-on-2 game with Infamous has nobody on the snake side. They're in one straight line. They have the 50 Dorito and Nicky Cuba in the Dorito corner.
And now at this point, Nicky might have to try to spread the field, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Todd Morrow makes a really big move, and he's going to get a shot on the 50-yard line. Dorito takes him out. Great job by Todd Morrow. And now Todd's going to have a really good shot on Nicky Cuba, whose bunker is going to get a lot smaller. Yeah,
and there it goes.
So Todd Morrow stepping it up.
Very great play by Todd, coming all the way down to the snake and shooting that 50 Dorito guy out. He knew what he had to do, and he did it right. We're
seeing some really good games as this tournament progresses. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Matty Marshall, got Justin Rabikoff up here, and you are watching the inaugural PSP 2011 event here in Galveston, Texas. We got 12 minutes and 16 seconds left to play here in this seesaw battle back and forth between San Antonio X Factor and LA Infamous. Infamous, very talented squad coming out of California. Pretty much literally a superstar team. I mean, there's not one guy on that roster that couldn't start on another team.
Oh, yeah.
And then not hometown boys, 'cause they're from San Antonio, but that being said, they are, the Texas favorite
Yeah,
for here
they
in this
are the
event.
Texas favorite.
And really putting together a team that has won before, knows how to win, and just trying to rekindle that fire.
And with that last point, if you were watching that last point, Infamous had the favor. It was a 4-on-2 Infamous favor, and somehow both their snake guys, Justin Schwartz and Kevin Rudolph, somehow got pinked out either from the Dorito side, and I'm not exactly sure what happened, but
yeah,
you should never be losing 4-on-2s. That's just uncalled for.
Absolutely. Those are the ones that haunt you later on.
Yeah.
When I was playing, I was trying to keep the haunting experiences to an absolute minimum, as much as possible.
Yeah. Because you never want to go back and remember a game because you lost a 4-on-2, which made you lose the game, lose the match. Yeah, those haunt you.
We've all had our fair share. There's no way to play paintball without those.
Oh, yeah.
It's just part of the game. All right, 10 seconds left to go before we start this next point. All tied up at 2 apiece. It's a great game so far.
Looks like Infamous is going to make a big move. Nope, they stop short.
Kovar digging hard, trying to make it.
And he does.
Or no, that's Johnson.
There he goes. He gets into the snake 50. And he goes straight to their snake. Great move. He knows that there's no corner, and he's already wrapping around. So it's a great move by him.
Yeah,
and he shoots the back center guy.
And he shoots back center. Perfect. And look, the rest of his team capitalizes on that, streaking up in the center and on the Dorito side of the field.
And now he wraps around and he misses. Oh no, he does shoot the corner guy, and then it's only the Dorito guy, Rusty Glaze, left. And it's a 5-on-1, and they're all running down to try and get the kill.
It's going to be Grayson Goff to polish off Rusty Glaze, and Archie Montemayor wearing his buddy Dixon Yang's jersey. We thought for a while Dixon was coming back, but that's...
No, he was supposed to, because we actually had practice against these guys, and they were wondering why he didn't show up, and he was just like, oh, well, I'll practice next weekend, but next weekend's the tournament. He's clueless out there. But I think he might come back for these next events. But in that last point, Johnson had a great move, and he was the first guy that we've seen in these past 2 matches to actually get into the snake and go straight to their side, knowing that they had no corner and wrapping around and shooting everybody in the back. And that's exactly what you want to see, especially from your front player, to know that, hey, there's no corner. I need to go straight to their snake, and I need to be wrapping on these guys and putting pressure on them to help my team catch up. And that's exactly what we saw. That was a perfect game plan by X Factor. They made it to the snake, their snake. They had the A and the 50 Dorito all within 5 seconds of that play.
Yeah, and we had talked about that, about how that's what I think honestly, as the tournament progresses, we're going to see more of that. People are going to get more comfortable with the field. They're going to kind of get in that zone that you get with your team as the event progresses. And I think that it's going to be like really interesting to see. I want to see more of that, and I think that we had talked about that because you know it's easy for us to sit up here and criticize, but that's our job at this particular point.
Yeah.
So now the score is 2-3.
2-3, X Factor lead.
Yeah, X Factor leads. And I hope we continue to see the seesaw battle back and forth.
Yeah, those are the best games in it. And if Infamous stays out of the penalty box, they have a great chance of winning this match. But X Factor's playing lights out. They're playing really good. All the matches that I've seen them play, they've been playing great paintball. And one person on that team that I give a lot of credit to is Ryan Cohen. He's a great player.
He's a baller, man. He's a little guy, and he's so fast, and he's able to run and gun with the best of them.
Oh, and he runs and guns and makes it all the way to the Dorito 2. Asking for a check, but it looks like he's clean. Nope, they call him out.
I think that move works better if you go around the Dorito. But it's still, I like, you know what I like though? I like the X Factor's getting that aggressive style back to him. They're really starting to make those plays.
Did you just see what Nicky did?
What did he do?
I guess Justin Schwartz was hit in the snake corner, and Nicky looks at him, yelling at him to call him out, and just lights him up. Puts 5 right in his back, and Nicky shoots him all in his back because I guess he didn't want him to get a penalty.
Yeah. That's old school New York ball right there.
That's perfect. I love seeing that. That made me laugh. And it looks like Infamous has 2 players, but they're in the snake and the 50 Dorito.
Yeah, we got ourselves a snake battle about to go down. Bobby Avilas able to make it in the snake, but on your screen right now, you're looking at X Factor wrapping around. There's no one in that back corner because Justin Schwartz got shot back out there, and Nicky had to remind him that he was hit.
Yeah. That was crazy. I haven't seen that happen in a long time. I look over and I see Nicky just blast Justin Schwartz in the back.
Hey, don't.
But you got to do what you got to do. You don't want to get penalties. They're staying out of the penalty box,
and that's
what they need to do.
Talk about self-monitoring.
Yes.
That's how you self-monitor.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you're not sure you're hit? I'm going to let you know that you are because I can see the giant beacon that's on your back.
Well, we thought it was a 4-on-2 here, but it looks like if it missed, Nicky does make it out to that corner, so it is a 3-on-4. X Factor has the favor right now, and Colt Roberts making a move up on the snake side to get closer to his teammate here in the snake.
Bobby's in an interesting position right here, and I think he's playing it smart. It's just him, so he's trying to get a little crafty. He knows he's got something there with him, but he doesn't quite know where he is. I think by just default, he should know where he is by now.
Colt Roberts should shoot Bobby right here. He should shoot Bobby. And he's putting the pressure on him. There it is.
Finally
he
got that shot
finally
through.
gets him.
Nice shot by Colt, and Kovar makes his way down. It's just Nicky Cuba, though. They have a player in the 50 Dorito.
He needs to look across field there. He finally sees it, and he shoots.
We're starting to see that happen a lot, is guys make it to the 50 Dorito and get shot in the back of the head on the other side of the field as the snake starts to fall. So it's just Nicky Cuba wheeling and dealing back. There's nothing he can do.
And X Factor capitalizing on their moves.
Good job by Kovar. Colt Roberts and Mikhail Kovar played great over here.
And that's what you want to see from your semi-attackers. You want to see them get right next to their snake players or their front players and get those shots on the guys. That's what we want to see. He finally clipped him out by making that move because Bobby was so focused on shooting the snake guy out that he just lost track of everybody else.
Yeah, and it's tough. It was a really tough position for Bobby because, and I think that it wasn't so much that Bobby did anything necessarily wrong, though. I mean, he could have maybe crawled out to the tape and gotten a little bit of safer position and made them run him down.
Right.
But Colt just had a really good move. He knew, okay, if I move to the insert Dorito, I'm going to have a shot. Figured out where Bobby was. Bobby was playing a little crafty in there for a while, but yeah, it was. Bobby was in a bad spot, man.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before Bobby was finally going to get shot, but like I said before, Colt Roberts made a great move, and he knew what to do. He's a smart player. He's a good player. And
seasoned vet. And now X Factor going up 4-2. And Infamous, I'd be frustrated if I was Infamous right now. They struggled in the first game with penalties. They ended up winning, so hey, just win, baby.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was not how they wanted that game to go. And now they're down 2 points against X Factor. Though, however, 8 minutes and 15 seconds left. Talking about a ton of time left on the clock.
Yeah, this game is far from over. Far from over. But these past 3 points, X Factor has been shooting a body on the break every single time. And in the past 2 games, one of them has come from the snake side. So,
and we're starting to see that develop more. You're starting to see more guys get shot off the break. And we talk about that, the 20-foot distance that's been added to the length of the field. And you were talking earlier about how that allows you to see the paintballs. Well, you got to be looking for the paintballs in order to see them.
Yeah, a lot of these players, even a lot of these younger players, are just run out there just looking at their spots. They're not head down the field watching paint, watching who's shooting at you. You need to know that because you might have to stop short. You have to be aware of that.
Flinch. Because if you think about it, as you're looking up and you're seeing the stream of paintballs come back at you, just a slight contortion of your body may make that ball deflect, or you may miss it altogether.
Yep.
But it might not get that solid hit. And and honestly, the guns don't shoot that fast. I mean, they're not.
They really don't. And I think, it looks like Infamous might take the snake on the break here, and they do. They're going all the way, and Zach Wake makes it.
And that might be a penalty. No, they were kind that time.
John fills it right away, though. Great move to fill that spot. Archie jumping right in that snake, though. And it looks like a 5-on-4 game here. Pretty much everything evened up, down the stretch. Infamous has all three backs.
And you have Archie Montemayor. He's in the snake, looking at the Infamous play right there. And then you see there's Archie in the snake on your bottom left-hand corner of your screen.
He's just listening to his coach right now, trying to figure out, what to do, what his coach wants him to do, and how he can get those kills.
Yeah, and basically he's trying to put that guy, trying to put the back corner player in.
And the best thing that he can do right now is stay alive. I think that he should be making that move down to the snake 50 to really apply the pressure on Infamous.
I'm interested to see what John's going to decide to do here. I mean, he does need to get in the snake.
It looks like John doesn't even have a working gun. He either chopped the ball or his eyes are not working because he's shooting really slow. It looks about 7 balls per second.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
here
going
comes X Factor charging up on that Dorito side of the field. Oh yeah, he's just shredding paint and then throws his body away. I wouldn't have done that necessarily if I was John. I can understand the frustration.
Oh, it looks like Grayson just got really dirty over there in that tower.
Yeah.
He did. He got real dirty.
X Factor looks good right now.
Infamous just dropping bodies, just getting shot out of their bunkers. You
can see on your screen is dominant right now. Is X Factor.
And there they go. X Factor takes the point, and they go up 5-2.
Handling. They're handling right now.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see as soon as Archie gets up, he yells to the crowd, one person, meaning just one person yell.
Well, they're
They're
teams from Texas. I'm sure all their friends are out here watching. Even the teams from Texas, I'm sure, are probably helping him, and there's probably a ton of people screaming at him because when he first jumped in that snake, it looked like he was almost clueless. It looked like he was trying to figure out who to listen to, and just, couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, and at that point, you want to definitely take input from the crowd, but if you can't hear anybody, don't wait for them.
Yeah,
you're not going to get any sort of clear information out of that giant din that's the crowd, especially if you're the hometown favorites.
And yeah, like I was saying before, if you get into this snake, you need to know your shots. You shouldn't be relying on the coach because there's going to be chaos there. There's always going to be some people screaming at you. You have to know your shots. You have to be aware of the game. And with no coaching on the Dorito side, you really have to communicate across the board. This is 7-man communication out there. You have to have that 7-man communication and
you really do, absolutely. That's why I really like the change over there on the Dorito side with no coaching from the pit, because paintball used to be so much about communication. Communication was such, and it's not. And again, it's not just about screaming where everyone's at, but more also communication involves listening.
Yep.
And I think that we're going to see that come back into the game more, especially on the Dorito side, because you don't have the luxury of the crowd, so you're going to have to get your information from your teammates. And I'm looking forward to kind of see that, because there's a lot of creativeness that comes out of that communication.
Exactly. You see people, really working together to make those big moves and helping their teammates out. And the teams that don't do it are the teams that, you won't see in the finals.
Yep. So X Factor looking solid right now. Just under 6 minutes, 5:59 left to go, and looks like a timeout has been called.
And this would be the 4th point in the row. This last point would be the 4th point in the row that Infamous has lost the body on the break on the snake side, and that's really hurting them. It's probably hurting their momentum a lot because they're like, well, can we run out to the corner now? Or it was like a desperation move that last time. Zach Wake, they just sent him to the snake, hoping that he would make it, and
right.
He didn't.
They haven't got any sort of work done over here on the snake side in the past couple points.
And that especially for one person getting shot going out there every single game, that can really hurt your morale.
Now, what we need to find out is who's making that shot. Is that Todd Morrow from the back center? I mean, there's probably somebody figured something out.
Yeah.
Somebody figured a shot out.
And it doesn't look like X Factor is shooting cross field from the Dorito side. I see a lot of teams doing that and making that shot, but a lot of teams haven't figured that out. It's almost like people are still learning the field. They haven't really got it down, perfectly yet. And you're seeing these teams that people are watching, they're finally figuring it out, because like I was saying before, the field is not playing how it was in practice. And I don't know if it's because it was practice paint, maybe it was a little harder, you were getting bounce going out there, or
there's no refs.
Exactly, there's no refs. A lot of things come into play with that, and the field is not playing the same as it was in practice. So it's like you're playing a whole new field, and teams are still learning the field going out there.
Yeah. And that's where the evolutions of the game plan is going to come in, and I think X Factor, and they have a coach, or at least I'm not sure if they have the same coach from before, but a guy named David, he was doing a good job for them. So I think that they've been pretty good at adapting right now, because whoever is figuring out these shots off the break is really helping them out right now.
And it could be their tower guy running up there. It could be both of them.
Yeah.
2 lanes on it, but it looks like they've figured it out, because 4 games in a row you shoot somebody on the snake side, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
And they should just keep doing it, because if they capitalize on shooting the infamous guys on the break, they'll close this game out.
And I think that for people listening at home, that's a really key component to the game. I mean, you have a situation where you may not be the biggest guy, you may not be the fastest guy, but if you look at somebody like Chris Hooker that plays for Vicious, real good at shooting people off the break. Look at Mike Paxton, real good at shooting people off the break. They're big and they're not the fastest guys. However, they contribute though.
Yeah, you have to have those guys on your team.
Yeah,
you need to have people on your team that can shoot people on the break, and I think that's one thing that we excel at.
Yeah, I agree.
Shooting people on the break.
Who would you say is the best on your team to shoot people off the break?
I don't know if we have one best player that can do it, because I think everybody can do it equally great.
Which is amazing. I think one of the good things about your team is that because there's such a varied level of skill sets, everyone's really good, that you can really confuse teams by sending guys to different spots. And that's really important. Like, for instance, X Factor is sending Grayson up the center every single time.
Right.
So the teams that are scouting are going to figure that out. Oh, if Grayson's in there on the line, well, he's probably going to be going to that temple in the center.
He's going to go to that tower.
Not that there's like a great shot on that bunker, but at least you know what he's doing.
Back center has a great shot. If you know he's going there, back center can shoot that guy every single time if you know he's going there. But now you give up shooting that corner lane, so you have to guarantee that kill.
Yeah.
But if you scout a lot of teams, you scout these teams, and you know, okay, Grayson's running this route every single time, you can cap him going out there.
Yep.
Well, let's see if it's going to be interesting to see if Infamous can actually make it out to the snake side. They've really been struggling, and I'd like to see him make it out here. I would like to see, them bring it back. It's 5-2 X Factor right now, and they're really, coming at Infamous. Like, these points haven't been drawn out.
It's like old school X Factor, man.
Yeah, exactly.
We really are seeing the old school X Factor step up and come back into pro paintball like they used to, you know? And I think that's great to see.
It's exciting.
It's
exciting, especially as a player playing pro and watching these games. Like, it's exciting watching these games and seeing what these players can do, especially with these new fields and
new rules, new fields,
new rules,
layout.
new field. Seeing what these guys, can do, and seeing what these teams can do as a whole.
I've been also impressed at the teams, plural, everyone, and their composure and their ability not to lose their heads and scream from the pits. I haven't seen one penalty yet come from the pits.
No, that's true. Especially, this is the first tournament of the year, the new rule changes. I haven't heard anybody screaming from the pits.
I haven't heard anything come from the pits. Not even a check that guy or any of that
nothing.
stuff.
Everybody, like you said, everybody has had their composure, and now we're going into 5 seconds here.
All right, 5-2 with under 6 minutes to play.
And Infamous finally stops short. They don't go out there. They delay out to the corner, and he doesn't make it.
Wow, they are just not letting anyone out. And I think that, I think that's Todd Morrow that's been shooting that lane from that back center.
He's doing a great job back there, just shooting his gun, just relentless, not letting off and making those moves. Oh, and X Factor gets a major. Kovar gets a major.
That was terrible. Terrible.
And that's what we were talking about before, staying
You
out
know,
of the
just
penalty
when they're
box.
just when they're starting to do something right, and it's really working, and then now they let
There goes-
Infamous get back in this game. Well, we'll see if Infamous can capitalize on the power
Yeah.
play.
And they really need to capitalize right here. I don't even think they're aware that they have a major. And it's a 3-on-3. No, 4-on-3 Infamous right now. And they have the 50 Dorito. Greg Sewers is in that 50 Dorito over there. Looks like he's just kind of staying alive. You know, what he should do because his team is sitting in the back.
Yeah. And Justin Swartz not able to get out of that little A
Well,
there.
it doesn't even look like he's trying to get out of there.
Yeah,
He's shooting cross field.
I mean, because he's not going to be moving inside. He has to move out, but I don't see him looking for
And
that move.
He's not looking
You
for
can
it
tell
at
by
all.
his body language, he's just zoned into that gunfight cross field.
And it's just one guy that's stopping him, and it's just one quick shot, and you know he can make it out to that corner and make it out wide and help Bobby get out of back center because Bobby's just trapped right now.
Yeah. Well, now he's on the opposite side, and Nicky Cuba making moves up the field.
And from here I can't see, but it looks like Greg Sewers is still in that 50 Dorito. Oh, and they
Todd
finally
Morrow.
get Todd out.
Todd's been playing really good. I really haven't seen him die early out of there, and he's been
No.
chopping people up
Yep.
off the break. So.
Doing a great job over there. I haven't seen him play like that in a long time.
Colt Roberts here, the lone X-Factor player on the Snake side of the field. And literally it is just Colt Roberts over here, and he's kind of he's not going to be able to do much as Infamous starts to close in. Now Justin's getting a little aggressive over here.
And Justin's just kind of standing over the top. Now he finally takes a knee. He's just looking for that shot on Colt, really focused on Colt. Colt could come over top here and blast Justin.
Yeah, he could.
If his
But I don't know
coach
if he knows
tells
that
him right
shot.
now,
Or
here he comes. Oh, and he gets him. No way.
Bobby's
and,
goggles
Bobby
fall
loses his
off.
goggles.
See the referee is there in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And then Colt Roberts gets shot finally out of that spot. Bobby takes a pretty hard dive.
Oh no, and Nicky gets a penalty, and now Ryan is in the 50 Dorito, and it's a 1-on-1.
Wow, and Infamous is totally
Nope,
blowing their
2-on-1
opportunity.
because X Factor comes out of the penalty box.
Infamous,
2-on-1.
Infamous had this game, and now Justice picking paintballs up off the ground.
Oh, he has no pain in a 2-on-1. This could be bad. I don't think the X Factors know. The X Factor guys know that Justin has
You
no
really
pain.
should never run out of paint. You never, ever, ever. You know, look, it totally took him out of his
Yes.
game. Never run out of paint. If you're listening in at home, never run out of paint. If you know you're getting low on paint, then don't shoot as much, unless it's like a one-on-one situation where it's been battling for 5-6 minutes.
And Infamous just not able to capitalize on that game. It's
Nicky,
a 4-on-2, and like we said, they're their own worst enemy. A 4-on-2, they get a penalty, and
Nicky
that completely takes them out of the game.
and you can see Nicky does not feel he deserved that penalty. I didn't see it, but he's over there arguing his case, and you know, and they've obviously, and they must have had tongue lashings been laid out during their meeting, because you know Nicky ended up shooting Justin because Justin was hit earlier on in the game and wasn't about to come out, and so you know Nicky definitely was trying to keep it on his mind. And Nicky also is a player that has gotten a lot, has been knowledgeable on his penalty status, as you know, he used to be real bad, and he's gotten a lot better, but he drew a penalty there.
And that really hurts them, because in a 4-on-2 situation, you turn a 5-2 game into a 5-3, but now it's 6-2, and all it takes is one more point. They have to score, you know, 4 points just to get, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, just to take it to overtime. You know, that's
a tall order,
especially with this field being so drawn out, and people can just hide, especially in these back bunkers.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very hard for Infamous to win this game, especially because they just cannot get out to the Snake side. Not at all.
Yeah.
They have not been able to get, they even tried to stop short and delay, and nothing is working for them on this Snake side. They need to figure something out and do it fast.
X Factor has really figured that shot out, and also I think it's really gotten to Infamous's head. You can see it in their play. I mean, you know, Justin was stuck in that bunker, and he didn't even want to go out to the corner.
Yeah, he didn't at all. He was more staying alive than anything, because it's just almost like they're at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words for Infamous because just nothing is working for them.
Yeah. All right, so let's see the breakout here. Infamous can get a clean breakout. It's definitely going to help their cause.
And they finally
they lose John Richardson, and looks like Zach Wake trying to aggressively push up this side. He's able to make it in clean.
But
here comes X Factor getting torched, trying to make it out on the Dorito side of the field.
And that was a big bite. It's almost like they're just trying to run around the field now.
Yeah.
And Archie might get a penalty
under 2
here.
minutes to play. And X Factor, you're looking at that big move he just made. That's not the smart play. There's under 2 minutes to go. You got a 4-point lead. Just chill in your bunker and roll your gun.
5 alive, yeah. Stay alive. Don't make those big bumps because, those can cost you the game. But Archie makes it into the snake. He goes straight to the snake 50.
Yeah, and there's a time and a place for the aggression, and now was not the time nor the place.
Oh, and he shoots him.
And here comes Archie trying to polish this game off for X Factor.
And he slips and falls. He gets back up, and there it goes. X Factor wins 7-2.
What a great game by X Factor, stepping it up. They got that revamped team. They got all the boys back, and really showing that they can play this game at the top level.
Boys are back in town, yeah.
Yeah, the boys are definitely back in town for sure. And if I was Infamous, I would really be shaking my head at today's performance. I mean, they come out their first game. Now they got to win. So that's definitely going to help their chances here in this event. However, they got to win riddled with penalties, which is what sank their chances at World Cup. Now they came back and they didn't really have any penalty problems really in this game, and they had, a few twists and turns aside. However, but I think it was really more that X Factor just played an amazing game.
X Factor totally dominated Infamous on the snake side.
Totally,
throughout the whole game. I think Zach Wake made it one time to the snake side, and it was in that last point that we saw, and they still couldn't capitalize. X Factor was completely shutting down the snake side, completely shutting down everything that Infamous threw at them on the snake side, and Todd Morrow did a great job from that back center and shooting guys out.
Yeah, did an amazing job. X Factor stepping it up to take the victory against LA Infamous. I'm Matty Marshall, this is Justin Rabikoff, and you are watching the 2011 event here down in Galveston, Texas. We got more paintball action coming at you.